life.
I thought I heard you say Jeff, but I was doing other things behind the scenes, so I had to do a double take. I'm like, no.
Oh, you didn't call him Jeffy or anything, so.
No, it's
okay.
Mark Zuckerberg. Not. I must have said that a number of different times because people are yelling at me in all capital letters on the super text line. Anyway, it is Mark Zuckerberg. And really the question is people that are now supporting Donald Trump when they didn't support him before.
Did they change or did you change?
I think it's a good question from Peter Ducey. And I think it's all of the above. Donald Trump is acting more presidential. He does want to be more presidential. I also believe that Donald Trump wants history to look back on him favorably. And also, everywhere you look, there are these signs of incompetence of Democrats, not just Joe Biden, but the entire party. Look at California.
It does make it easier for him, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look at California. Look at the fires. They clearly were not ready for the fires. The focus on DEI, the border, all of these things, all of these reprehensible things that have happened here in America, the Democrats are the ones that brought us all of this chaos. And so I think that Trump, I think he just wants to start racking up wins. He's been fighting with everybody for years. He doesn't need to do that. Now he wants to fix the country. That's what he's going to do. What John Fetterman said about all of that, going to Mar-a-Lago and air quoting, kissing the ring, is coming up. Also, got an update on the fires as well in California. Big morning straight ahead. Snow is coming down. It's Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 6:30 now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We have a crash involving multiple vehicles, and it's led to the closure of I-24 westbound in Cheatham County this morning. Police are saying this crash took place around 2:30 in the morning, and Smoky Bar News says it was caused by a wrong-way driver who collided head-on with another vehicle. 2 people are dead. There may be 1 other person still trapped. Now, that stretch of I-24 will reportedly be closed for several hours as police divert traffic off at New Hope Road. Well, most of us are seeing the snow falling now, and it's affecting flights at Nashville International Airport this morning. Already, 270 flights canceled. That's arrivals and departures together. Now, while the runways and taxiways may be clear, the airport says flights from other destinations also being hit by this snowstorm are not arriving in Nashville. And that causes, of course, that domino effect. Your best bet is to call before you go today. Here's the update on the wildfires in California. There are 4 major wildfires raging across Los Angeles County right now, and at least 10 people have died. That's an update as of last night. Officials are warning, though, the true toll won't be clear until it's safe for investigators to go into neighborhoods. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated since the blazes began this week. As many as 10,000 structures destroyed by the Coastal Palisades fire. Expect to be the costliest fire in U.S. history. And firefighting teams are expecting more wind today and dry conditions. That'll continue, and it will continue to complicate the efforts all the way into next week. If the winds are too strong, firefighting aircraft won't be able to take off. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather coming up. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
632, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Dan Mandis here for my friends at USS United Structural Systems. Yes, it is snowing or going to snow wherever you are today here in Tennessee. And you're focused on groceries and salting the driveways. But, when that snow melts, there's going to be a lot of water. So you need to check your foundation for cracks in your basement for water leaks. The tiniest of cracks in your basement with the snow like we're going to get today, that water could end up in your home and cause all kinds of issues. What if your pipes burst? If that water remains unseen, it can turn into even bigger problems like mold and wood rot and the need for structural repair. Now, if you want to stay ahead of water damage, call my friends at USS United Structural Systems. They've got over 30 years of experience in basement and crawl space waterproofing, basement wall stabilization, and foundation repair. USS inspections are absolutely free, and they're not going to sell you unnecessary repairs. They are simply here to help you. We guarantee our best. Call USS 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. You can always find them online, USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com.
Okay, as we've been reporting all morning, 24 westbound in Cheatham County is closed off. New Hope Road to Springfield, Ashland City. So that's exit 31 through 24. It's a crash investigation now, but in the middle of the night around 2:30 this morning, there was a wrong-way driver and a head-on collision. 2 people died. So that is expected to be closed for quite a while this morning. You'll need to take an exit there. Police are diverting traffic off the highway to get around it. A crash also blocking the left lane in Clarksville of 24 eastbound. That's just before Rossview Road. And crews are out there this morning as the snow begins to fall. And they say that they're going to be plowing. So your best bet is to make sure that you stay away from the plows, give them some space, or even keep off the roads if you can at all this morning. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.637 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Dan Mandis here, live from Mount Juliet and the basement studio. Joan is at home in Manchester. KGB is in Nashville, back at the studio. And clearly you folks know what's going on here in Tennessee today. kids are very excited. From what I understand, there's actually not one school across the state of Tennessee that is in session. So it's going to be, a day of sledding and snowball fights and snowman building and all those kinds of things. And so the news does continue, and we do appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was talking earlier in the broadcast in the first segment of this hour, where we're talking about who's changed. Has Donald Trump changed, or has his enemies changed? Like, for example, Mark Zuckerberg. And a lot of people, I asked the question on the Super Text line, and a lot of people feel like somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, and by the way, I said this the other day, where all these folks who are coming around, these CEOs and so forth, they're coming around because they're trying to save their products. The reason why Mark Zuckerberg is kissing the ring, air quoting, of Donald Trump, and he is no longer going to censor conservatives and the fact checkers are out the window, is because they understand that they are or were in a far different place than vast majority of the American people. And so for Mark Zuckerberg and others, it is a matter of survival. I just don't believe that Mark Zuckerberg suddenly just, a light bulb goes off over his head and he just decides, I'm not going to censor conservatives anymore. I'm suddenly deciding that I want to be politically neutral, and I'm not going to give millions and millions of dollars to Democrats with those Zuckerbucks. No, it's a matter of survival. That's what it is. So I think that Trump is acting more presidential, but I also realize that for Trump's enemies, it is a matter of respect because the man's got scoreboard. And by the way, the other thing that I would say is Biden sucks. The Democrats suck. And their policies are ruining America and ruining states. And you know who knows that? John Fetterman. And so you've got a bunch of Democrats who are absolutely apoplectic to John Fetterman is going to Mar-a-Lago, and they caught up with him yesterday on Capitol Hill.
What you hope to get out of your visit to Mar-a-Lago to talk to Donald Trump?
Well, what are we talking about here? Is there some news?
There's some news. We hear that you're going to be heading down to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that, yeah.
What will you be discussing with the president?
Well, yeah, I demand that I need to be made Pope of Greenland.
Do you have the resume to be Pope?
I'm having a conversation like he's the president, is going to be. So, I am not the senator for just Democrats in Pennsylvania. I'm everyone's senator in Pennsylvania. And so it's just having a conversation with the president.
There he goes. And he's walking down the hallway, and he's talking about, and I think I love the Pope of Greenland thing, but I think the bottom line is for John Fetterman is that he said it. I'm not just a senator for Democrats. I'm a senator for all people. So why is it so controversial that he's going to speak to Donald Trump? I think good on him, and good on Donald Trump for allowing or inviting or accepting a visit from John Fetterman. I love it. 641 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, talking about the Democrats and how their policies have ruined America. We all know what's going on in California. The Democrats in California, they remain on defense for their handling of the state's water resources. Now, everybody's been talking about the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. Now, remember, she was in Africa when all of these fires began. Now, on the one hand, and I said this earlier this week, she didn't know that the fires were going to happen when she, jetted off to Africa. However, she did know when she jetted off to Africa that the conditions were right for fires. So there is that aspect of the story, too. She chose to go to Angola, Africa, for whatever reason. And she knew that her city, her town, where she represents as mayor, was under a significant fire risk. So there is that. Her decisions and the decisions of her city's lawmakers obviously under a lot of scrutiny, under the microscope. Now, remember, all of these things that we've discussed over the last several days, no water in the hydrants, panic over too many white males in the fire department, DEI really is something the fire department is focused on. That's one of their number one goals. She herself, Karen Bass, she cut millions from the fire department. They terminated good firefighters over the vaccine mandate. So one bad decision after another. I've gone through all of these in detail, so I don't feel like I need to go over them yet again. But she had a press conference, and she had to be dreading this press conference because she knew that the media might actually possibly do their job and try to hold her accountable.
Mayor, LA County is in a panic state. It began 2 days ago with the Palisades fire. My crew and I arrived shortly after it started, and for several hours we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. We watched as Good Samaritans guided traffic. There was fear and there was a lot of confusion. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
So, I mean, this reporter is going on, and her face just becomes, more and more, what's the right word? I don't know if it's angry. It was more like despair and dread on her face. Her answer, by the way, will not surprise you, but it is coming up next. It is 6:45 on Nashville's Morning News. Time to check the roads on WTN. .645 Nashville's Morning News. As far as your weather today, of course, a high of 33, a low today of 25. Right now, though, it's 28. I think we've probably already hit that low. And snow is falling across many parts of Middle Tennessee. Not sure about where you are. Word is that it may be snowing in Nashville. I can tell you that there is no snow as of yet here in northern Mount Juliet. I don't know about where Joan is in Manchester. What we can tell you is the kids are excited that there's no school today. And I'm going to keep playing that until 9 o'clock. Get used to it. The mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, she is going through a lot of criticism, as, by the way, she should. And so she had a press conference where there is a reporter and other reporters, many reporters are asking her the same thing about her culpability and responsibility in this clear lack of fire preparation. And she really did try to spin out of accepting responsibility.
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that let me finish.
So if you wanted to save lives and you wanted to save homes, then you would not have cut the budget by $17 million. You know, the fire chief actually sent Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, an official memo saying that the budget cuts would mean that they don't have the resources to fight fires. That memo actually exists. And I keep having to say this when it comes to Democrats and their policies. It is easier to prevent and stop something from happening than trying to clean up the mess afterwards. That is exactly what's going on right now. In this case, the fires, had they made the right decisions leading up to the fires, they could have at least had a fighting chance at stopping the fires. Instead of the firefighters pulling up, hooking up to the fire hydrants and nothing coming out. But she doesn't want to talk about all of that right now. No.
Let me finish. Rest assured, when that is done, when we are safe, when lives have been saved and homes have been saved, we will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc. But my focus right now is on the lives and on the homes.
Do you think your leadership was effective while responding to this disaster?
I just said what I believe is the most important thing for us to do right now, and that is going to continue to be my focus. Thank you.
So clearly she's not going to talk about it. Yesterday we spoke about where you have these Democrats, Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, a lot of others that are saying, well, now is not the right time to talk about who is culpable, who is responsible for this clear lack of leadership. Now is not the right time. Let's wait. After all the fires are put out, we'll go ahead and we'll appoint a council to do an investigation. Sure you will. By the way, the libs of TikTok put this out. And by the way, my official talk show host opinion is that now is exactly the right time. As I said 1,000 times yesterday, now is exactly the right time to talk about this because people are paying attention. Libs of TikTok put this out. Temporary suspension of annual hydrant testing for the fiscal year 2024-2025. This came out on Christmas Eve of 2024. In consideration of the department's current operational and fiscal challenges, the annual hydrant testing scheduled for the beginning of this year will be temporarily suspended. Remember, the fire hydrants have no water. This decision reflects the need to prioritize safety, resource allocation, and emergency response. And apparently, if this is true, they chose not to test the fire hydrants. If that's true, I wonder whose decision that was and if that will be a conversation. By the way, and something to be investigated. By the way, did you see Gavin Newsom yesterday where a woman literally ran up to Gavin Newsom and he lied, just bald-faced lied to the woman when he said that he was on the phone with Joe Biden and it turned out he wasn't?
It was an hysterical moment.
I've got that audio coming up, Joan.
Oh, good.
It is, I don't even know what to say about it other than Gavin Newsom, he is a proven liar. So that story for you and a whole lot more straight ahead. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986. Joan Jones has the news coming up at 7 o'clock. Joan, what is coming up?
Yeah, serious accident has closed down a major roadway, and this one was caused by a wrong-way driver. Also, President Trump will be sentenced today after all. We've got those stories coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Dan Mandis here for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They are your Rude Pro partner, and they've been my partner as well for years. I love Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Been working with them for literally over a decade. Now, Busy Bee is always looking for ways to save you money. And here in 2025 and here in January, a very cold January, they've got some red hot deals. Get a free air duct cleaning with the purchase of a new complete whole home AC, or get a free air duct cleaning package upgrade. So you buy the middle package, they are going to automatically upgrade you to the deluxe. They're also offering you 15% off indoor air quality products. Again, so many reasons to love my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. I've been a Beehive member for years. So save money and stay warm this January with Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out at 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, BusyBeeHVAC.com. Hey everybody, Dan Mandis from Nashville's Morning News. The Wall Street Journal reported a while ago that people are feeling stress, anxiety, and depression because of this election. If that's you, talk to my guy, Dr. Christopher Van Shank. He is a psychiatrist out in Nolensville. Now, he can help you with not only depression, if you're feeling it because of politics or whatever, but he can also help you with alcoholism, drug abuse as well. Go to his website, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. He's got a long list of conditions that he can help you with, either in person or at telehealth. Bottom line is, he wants to make it as easy as possible for you to get the help that you need. He can help your kids as well. Check him out online. Again, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. The number's below. Thanks for listening, and good luck.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
.656, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, coming up after the news at 7, Joe Biden has some thoughts on what has caused these fires in California. What he has to say straight ahead after the news at 7 right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, good news, Jones' camera and also KGB's camera both now working. It's been a rough morning for Jeff, and so he's been working very diligently, Joan, to try to get everybody's camera working because my camera, sadly, was the only one working, and everyone knows that I'm not the one that people are coming to see. It's, of course, Joan Jones in her PJs because she is broadcasting live from Manchester in her spare bedroom. I am in my basement here in Mount Juliet where, as far as I can tell, still not snowing. Joan, you getting snow yet?
We are getting snow. It's coming down pretty good, too.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So
For the
snowing
record,
in Manchester. And what's going on in Nashville?
Well, it says it's snowing. I looked outside, and I don't see snowflakes, so the weather service is lying to me. Shocker. But for the record, we do not have a camera for Joan in her home because of the fact she's in her PJs.
No, not because of the fact. I just don't know how to link my camera to our system.
All right.
Does that make any sense?
Yes. But everyone's camera in the actual WTN newsroom is working.
Oh, got it.
Everything
Okay.
is working here.
Okay, very good. Gavin Newsom, speaking of not working, his brain. Listen to this. A woman comes running up to him.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
So she asks if she can actually hear the conversation between Gavin Newsom and President Trump. And he's like,
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So
There's
let's
no
get
cell
it.
service.
Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now.
Now, I don't know about you, Joan, but she sounds so passionate. It almost sounds like she's trolling.
Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see the. Do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people are safe.
I'd like to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Oh, sure. We're going to give you the card of like a lower level aide. But he did. He actually got caught lying, and that's part of the news cycle today.
She smelled that lie a mile away.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'm literally talking to the president right now.
He actually was not talking to the president. Then she's trying to look at his phone, and he's like, well, no, I just...
I'm literally talking to the president right now.
He was literally not talking to the president right then. So Gavin Newsom, and by the way, coming up in the next hour, a local Republican lawmaker there in California. Yes, there is a Republican lawmaker in California. And he is calling Gavin Newsom out for the lies, and more lies that he has been telling over the past couple of years regarding clearing out the forest. Details straight ahead on Nashville's Morning News on WTN.
Seven o'clock now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A reminder that there's a serious accident that shut down a portion of I-24 westbound in Cheatham County between exits 31 and 24 since early this morning. Now, your best route to get around this closure is police are saying that it is a head-on crash caused by a wrong-way driver in the early morning hours. 2 people died in that crash. Well, as the snow continues to fall through most of the area this morning, looks like the kiddos are staying home from school. Nashville schools made the call to stay closed last night. Most other school districts in the listening area are closed as well. And officials are asking drivers to give plows plenty of space and perhaps stay off the road if that's possible today. The snow is now coming down in most parts of the Nashville listening area. And with the temperatures having been at or below freezing for the past several days, Channel 4's Stefano DiPietro reminds us that the snow will stick on the roads and begin to build up pretty quickly, too. There won't be any sunshine today, so there's going to be no melting on the roads, at least today either. In other news, we have learned overnight that the death toll from the California wildfires rose to 10, and officials there say they do expect that'll rise over the next few days as well. Police in L.A. arrested a man last night they believe is connected to the newest blaze, one that erupted in West Hills and grew to 1,000 acres within 2 hours. That man is seen in a photo circulating online that shows him in handcuffs and with a blowtorch nearby. The man has not yet been identified. The Supreme Court allowing the sentencing of President-elect Donald Trump on his conviction in New York in the hush money case. The decision yesterday saw Justice Amy Coney Barrett joining 3 liberal justices in the decision. Now, Trump will attend the sentencing virtually today. He will not receive any jail time. Fox News reports the decision allows Trump's appeal of the conviction to get underway, and it also locks Judge Juan Merchan into the promise that he won't sentence Trump to any jail time. And singer and actress Anita Bryant has died. In fact, she died in mid-December at her home in Oklahoma. She's remembered as Miss Oklahoma 1958 for several hit songs and as a spokesperson for Florida Orange Juice. Remember that? But the mainstream media is also remembering her for the crusade against gay rights in the late 1970s, which began with Bryant leading a coalition called Save Our Children Against the Gay Rights Movement. Anita Bryant was 84 years old. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather coming up. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. still closed. It's that spot on I-24 westbound in Cheatham County this morning. It's closed westbound New Hope Road to Springfield, Ashland City because of a two-vehicle crash. It was a head-on crash caused by a wrong-way driver in the very early hours of the morning. And police are expecting that may be closed for the next 3 to 5 hours. Also, Clarksville, 24 eastbound, just before Rossview Road exit 8, there's a crash and the left lane is blocked off there. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.706 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Follow me on X at Dan Mandis Show, where there is video, and I just reposted this, where in Woodland Hills, California, they find a guy not far from the Kenneth Fire, which is a new fire that I think popped up last 24 hours, I think. But this guy is, and I used to live in Woodland Hills, this guy is literally carrying around a blowtorch. And so now he has been arrested. The L.A. Police Department says the man in custody, but they say that they can't confirm any connection to any fire by this suspect. But he is walking around with a blowtorch. And the local people there in Woodland Hills, they surrounded this guy. And they stopped him. I don't know what his intent was, but there's only one reason to carry a blowtorch when the winds are high and fires are all over Southern California. But that's crazy. And you think about the insanity of some people. And over the past couple of days, I've told you, one of the big issues in Southern California and in California by and large is the amount of homeless people. And so there's a number of problems with the homeless people. And number one is they like to start fires so that they can stay warm. And let's be honest, homeless people, they don't necessarily care if homes burn. $150 billion in damages right now. That is the latest word from California. LA wildfires, $150 billion in damages, 10 people sadly and tragically dead, 10,000 structures lost as well. I think there's still about, five fires that are burning. They're hoping to get some control over the fires over the weekend because the wind there is supposed to die down. But that is the very latest. As far as we're talking about Gavin Newsom in the previous hour, and we're talking about how he lied to a woman when he told her that he was literally on the phone talking to Joe Biden when he wasn't. He lied to her. And so find that video on my X feed at Dan Mandis Show. But a lawmaker in California, a Republican lawmaker, is now calling out Gavin Newsom because he's been lying about a lot of things. A lot of people, of course, talking about the gross mismanagement in California. Will this be the end of Gavin Newsom's political career? This is one of the few congressmen out of California, Republican. His name is Kevin Kiley, and he was calling out Gavin Newsom.
Frankly, it is the culmination of years and years of policy failure in California, where we've had absolutely insane forest management policies, insane water policies. We haven't adequately prioritized support for firefighting. We've had an insurance crisis that's been spiraling out of control. We have by far the worst homelessness situation in the entire country, and homelessness leads to a lot of fires as well. And all of this has gotten much, much worse during the Newsom administration. As a matter of fact, Newsom was caught lying about the amount of forest management that had been done in the state. Capital Public Radio, this is the NPR affiliate, did an investigation and found that Newsom had exaggerated the amount of work done by 690%. So he exaggerated by almost 7 times as much work as he actually did.
Yeah, they did this investigation. NPR actually did this investigation where Gavin Newsom claimed that he was cleaning up the forests, just like, by the way, Donald Trump told him to do, but he lied about it. The report proved that Gavin Newsom claimed that he cleaned up 90,000 acres of forest and land, but in reality, he only did about 11,000. He claimed to do 90,000. He only did 11,000. That is an astonishing lie. And so just like he lied to that woman about talking to Joe Biden, he also lied about this. Let's also not forget Gavin Newsom is the same guy that was enforcing lockdowns and mask mandates in California, yet he himself was off having an intimate dinner with his friends at a fancy restaurant. So not only is Gavin Newsom mismanaging the forest, but he is also misleading the voters in the state of California.
Well, it's gross incompetence at the very least, especially when you're looking at fire hydrants that they're not able to get water out of, and you're looking at the city of LA that decided to pass a resolution making itself a sanctuary or a super sanctuary or a city, whatever they're calling it now, but at the same time they're taking away $17 million from their fire department.
You know how much California spends on illegal aliens? In 2022, California spent around $22 billion on illegal immigrants. So they cut, I just think about this context. They spend $22 billion on illegal immigrants, and it's probably a lot more now. This is from 2022. They probably spend a lot more now. They cut $17 million from the fire department. They spent $22 billion on illegals, and they cut $17 million from the fire department. They make California is the state with the highest expenditure in this category of supporting illegal aliens. This figure includes costs for education, health care, law enforcement, other public services as well. And that is according to FAIR, this group FAIR, which admittedly is an illegal immigration group where they want less illegal immigration. But I've seen other estimates in that same category, so in that same price range. So I believe that is accurate. But you also heard this Republican Kiley, Congressman Kiley, you heard him mention all of those insurance companies that have been canceling. And I told you about my experience in California where we had a problem with the insurance with my mom's home where her condo was dropped. And so there's a lot of things that are going on out there in California regarding the insurance companies. I don't want to retrace too much, but the insurance companies have been canceling. There's a bunch of reasons, but one of the big ones is that California, the state, requires insurance companies to get approval from California's insurance commissioner to increase prices. Now, that's a big problem because those regulations are a big part of this mass exodus. And so how often do we talk about regulations killing, literally everything? And so here we are in the state of California. You have all of these people that for a number of different reasons, including this instance where the insurance companies have to get approval from California's insurance commissioner to increase prices. They're like, screw it. We're just going to bail from the state. That's part of what's going on. Other issues, of course, being all the wildfires and the high payouts as well from the past. So California, it's just a mess. Oh, I've got more. And also, what does Joe Biden say about the reason why the fire hydrants didn't have any water? He actually said something about this yesterday. We'll see if it's accurate. Coming up on Nashville's Morning News, it is 7:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. Very good. 7:16 on Nashville's Morning News. Joan says it is snowing in Manchester. KGB tells me it is snowing in Nashville. It's kind of funny. I went up to see Amy, and because I'm from home today, and she shows me her phone, and you've got all of this snow all around us, except for this one little part of Mount Juliet, where we live.
And it's not snowing there?
Haven't even gotten a flake. If you look at the map, if you look at the snow map, there's that little red dot where we live, and there's no snow right there. It's like a little bitty circle.
So I guess there's a delay in the whole hot tub plan.
Yeah. There's a delay in the hot tub plan. Riker's out there with his sled, but there's no snow.
That's sad.
I'm posting on my X right now the snow right outside the studio because it looks like a snow globe.
Does it?
It's incredible.
And where are you posting that?
On my X at Jeff Balanoff.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll post a picture of mine at
just to rub it in.
Dan, you take a picture of your outdoors. Dan, take a picture of yours outside too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Dan, show us yours.
You know, if I did that, it'd be like.
Yeah.
So earlier we were talking about, just very quickly, we were talking about how Amy's big deal today was she wanted to get into the hot tub while it's snowing. Apparently that's like a thing. I didn't know that, but apparently that's a thing with mimosas and sangrias. So I'm just telling you, whether it's snowing or not, I will be in that hot tub and I will be drinking. I'm just telling you. That's what it's going to be like in the Mandis house after 9.
I'm going to get a drunk text from him. Just wait.
Yeah, drunk texting, sure.
Your snow pictures, Malinoff. Sick of them.
Malinoff, you're so good to us.
Malinowski.
All right, moving right along. It is 7:18 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Talking about what's going on in California. And this Republican who, I think it was on CNN. I think it was CNN. Guy's name is Kevin Kiley, and he is a Republican congressman. He does say that California is a mess.
And you have all of these completely nonsensical regulations that make it very difficult to take wood out of the forest. It's decimated the timber industry, and it's made our forests into tinder boxes. And by the way, the perverse irony of it all is that they have these regulations in the name of the environment, but then we have a catastrophic wildfire, and it erases all of whatever gains there might have been from an environmental perspective, because wildfires are horrible for the environment.
Yes, I mean, obviously that's true. Dr. Drew was talking about that as well. So will this be the end of Gavin Newsom's political career? From the constant lying, he's not handling this well, and all of these decisions are now being magnified. Do you know there's actually people that are saying that this could be the end of the Democrat Party in California? I don't know about that. We'll have to wait and see what happens. This is what Joe Biden says about what he believes happened regarding the water not being at the fire hydrants.
Been a water shortage. The fact is, the utilities, understandably, I want to be clear. What I know from talking to the governor, that there are concerns out there that there's also been a water shortage. The fact is, the utilities understandably shut off power because they're worried the lines that they carried energy were going to be blown down and spark additional fires. But the Cal Fire, when it did that, it cut off the ability to generate pumping the water. That's what caused the lack of water in these hydrants. And so CAL FIRE is bringing in generators to get these pumps up and working again so that there's no longer a shortage of water coming out of these hydrants.
Anybody believe Biden when he says it's not a water shortage? No, they cut the power to the pumps so that the water couldn't get to the fire hydrants. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Biden is literally the only person that I have heard say that. Karen Bass didn't say that. Gavin Newsom didn't say that either. By the way, Biden also had another incredible quote in that same press conference, and we're going to talk about that straight ahead with Joan Jones as we get to the news at 7:30. That is coming up right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Don't go through another year with all of that high-interest debt. Get with Loan Pronto and wipe it all out right now. Loan Pronto's rapid equity loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pockets fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, and no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven technology gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. Now, one client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off all their credit cards, a couple of cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month in the process. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances as well with Loan Pronto. Imagine being credit card debt free by this time next week. So don't wait. Call them now, 615-499-5780, 615-499-5780. You can always find them online. It is loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org. It is 7:22. Joan Jones has the news coming up at 7:30. Joan, what's coming up?
Well, Dan, we've got the look at the roads and also at the airport now as this snow really begins to fall and stick on the roadways. Also, a federal judge has just knocked down a Biden administration rule that aimed to rewrite Title IX. We've got those stories coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
726, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. I want to tell you about my friends at DT McCall's. If you've been thinking about buying a gun safe, but you've been putting it off, now is the time. Gun safes are sales tax free right now at DT McCall's. Now, they are the largest Liberty Safe dealer here in the state of Tennessee. Free delivery and free setup. Others going to charge $500 at least for delivery and setup in bigger models. $300 for smaller models, but not at DT McCall's. DT McCall & Sons, they deliver every safe for free every time, period. No setup charge either. Security, of course, is all important these days. A Liberty gun safe from DT McCall's can be used for valuables and cash and jewelry, important documents, you name it, you can use it. From my friends at DT McCall's with your Liberty gun safe. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee, Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, Franklin. Always online, dtmccalls.com. $727, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Mandis home snow dome apparently is in full effect, still not snowing over my house.
That's crazy.
And again, I went up and looked at it again. If you look at the snow map, there's one part where it's not snowing in all of Middle Tennessee, and it's over my house.
You got to take a picture and prove it. Post it on X.
Oh, you know what? Let me text the little woman. I'm sure that she'll get
the
right
little
on
woman.
that.
Did you just call her the little woman?
I did.
I mean, the song is called Pretty Woman, not Little Woman.
Right.
She's pretty too.
Yeah.
I was telling.
The first thing you were thinking of now, was it?
I was telling Jeff my loving nicknames for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go ahead and talk about what those names are, or should I wait till 8:35?
You know what? Wait. I want to see.
You want me to wait?
Yeah. We need to shame you until the end of the show.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, that'll be good.
But I'll ask Amy, take a, what do you call it, screenshot.
Is there a please in there?
No.
Do you use stuff like that when you talk to your wife?
No. Why would I possibly do that, Joan? Common courtesy. Oh, there's, jeez. I just turned to my left and my wife is standing right there.
Yeah, she's probably like, "What are you saying about me this time, man?"
That's the thing
about.
That's the thing about being from home. Hey, can you take a screenshot of that thing? Oh, is it snowing now? Oh, look at that! It's snowing now.
Now it's snowing. How convenient!
Oh, stop it, you two.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to hear what Joe Biden said as he was throwing to Kamala Harris at this press conference? Listen very closely.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
All right.
He said, "Fire away."
Oh my goodness, that's
worse than any nickname for your wife you can think of, right there.
Oh, I don't know. You haven't heard the nicknames. Got a lot more straight ahead. 7:30 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 7:30 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. TDOT says it needs about a half-inch of snow to start their plowing operations, and it appears the snow is accumulating quickly now in some areas anyway. So those plows have now been spotted along parts of I-40. Now, a check of the BNA website shows the word canceled repeatedly as you scroll down the departures and arrivals. So many planes there held up in other parts of the country, also dealing with this snow. We are expecting the snow to ramp up in intensity throughout the day. A federal judge in Kentucky scrapping Joe Biden's effort to rewrite Title IX, saying it violated the Constitution. The Biden administration redefined sex in Title IX as gender identity. The order means that only women and girls now can be allowed in women and girls' locker rooms and showers, rejecting the notion that schools could allow men or boys who claim to be the opposite sex to use those facilities. Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti saying in a post on X, quote, another massive win for Tennessee and the country. That ruling came months after the Supreme Court rejected the Biden administration's rule that protected transgender students from discrimination under Title IX. The first lawsuit filed now over the New Year's terror attack in New Orleans. 6 injured survivors and the family of a man who died. They're asking for damages. Their lawyer points out that 8 months ago, a security consulting firm laid out a scenario for the city of New Orleans in which a Ford F-150 pickup truck speeds up Bourbon Street and into a crowd of people. Unbelievable. It's exactly what happened on New Year's morning, and the lawyer said that if the city took that consultant's information seriously, there would have been no attack on Bourbon Street on New Year's Day. And stock trading resumes on Wall Street today after yesterday's pause in honor of former President Jimmy Carter's funeral. Stock futures are pointing down this morning. Traders are waiting on the December jobs report, which is due out any moment now. And if that report is strong, it could serve as a reason for the Fed to delay lowering interest rates. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather just ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Joan, I am shocked.
What? What are you shocked at?
I can't do it here, but make sure that you're in front of your microphone when we come back. I've got some unbelievable audio to play for you coming up next. Dan Mandis here. Mark Spain Real Estate. Of course, you know, I always recommend Mark Spain here in Nashville because I trust that they'll sell your home hassle-free with a strong all-cash offer. Now, they've been helping homeowners sell their homes for nearly 30 years, and they've served over 58,000 families. And with all those clients, Mark Spain Real Estate is the #1 most reviewed real estate company in America. And they've got over 12,500 five-star reviews. Now, you can trust my friends at Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast and for maximum profit and the least amount of hassle. That is the guaranteed offer. Now, you know, the Wall Street Journal and Real Trends has consistently named Mark Spain Real Estate as a top real estate team in America for 8 years in a row. That's great news, including being ranked #1 in the nation for closed transaction 5 years in a row. There's a reason they've had so much success. It is that guaranteed offer, Mark Spain Real Estate. A quick sale and maximum profit. Get a guaranteed offer on your home today. 855-299-SOLD. 855-299-SOLD. Online anytime. markspain.com and start packing.
Well, it looks like 24 of the westbound lanes in Cheatham County are still closed. This is between New Hope Road and Springfield, Ashland City. It's closed for a crash investigation. That was a head-on accident involving a couple of cars caused by a wrong-way driver early this morning. It's been closed for hours, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. You do have some plows out on parts of I-40 this morning, so careful as you're traveling around them. Give them a little space. And the TDOT is saying they are expecting that the plows will be out on all the major roads as you're headed out today. And if you can stay home, please do. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
7:37, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Super Text line is alive and well. Amy did try to take a picture of the snow. It's snowing very lightly.
Okay.
So she says, I tried to take a picture, but it's not even showing up. I do believe that there is some sort of a Mandis snow dome thing going on because there's just not a lot of snow. Matt says on the Super Text line, weird that Dan isn't getting any snow. He says, I'm driving all the way across Mount Juliet Road right now. He says it's been a snow globe the whole time. Well, just for the record, Mount Juliet Road for me is like over there. Like it's well south because I live up.
Don't give him a direction.
I live up by I live up by the lake. And so if there's one thing I know is there's no lake effect snow going on in the Mandis house.
How about that?
So now your stalkers know where you are, though.
I posted a picture of my backyard, and I saw KGB posted a little video.
Well,
snowing everywhere else, Dan.
Well, and people, this is 1761. So Dan, you're going to point out where you live on a map. Whatever.
Stalkers now know.
I honestly believe that nobody cares enough about me to stalk me, which is fine. Let's see here. Other people.
2698 said snowing bigly in Bradyville.
Where's Bradyville? What am I missing? Is that a joke?
No, it's just the bigly, snowing bigly.
Oh, bigly. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean says it is far heavier down by Providence than up by you. Okay, thank you, Sean. At least somebody is providing some perspective. So there you go.
No snow in Springfield yet.
All right. Not in Gallatin either. So people are chiming in. I can't believe people are actually listening.
Or Sumner County. How about that?
My date got canceled because of the snow. The place I reserved my date, they said we're not open today, like this morning.
No.
So
I thought McDonald's was always open.
I thought so too. I was greatly disappointed. I don't want to take her to Burger King. I mean, I thought McDonald's would be more classy. You know, maybe I'd take her to Wendy's.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A might be open.
All right. Yeah. So in all seriousness, where are we going to take your date? Then I got to get back to business. But where are we going to take your date?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking about going to Publix and just making her dinner.
Oh, that's nice.
Can you cook?
Presumptive, but nice.
Yeah, I can do steak or I like to make breakfast for dinner a lot. So I get pancakes, bacon, eggs, maybe an omelet.
Okay.
Okay.
That wouldn't work with me.
Steaks,
Well, it depends on if she wants steak. I gave her options. You know.
Oh, I see.
You know when I hear that, Jeff, it just didn't work for me.
What? Someone making you dinner? Or is it the breakfast part? You don't like breakfast?
It's the breakfast for dinner thing. I don't know if that's appropriate for what you might be. She might read something into it and think that you're trying to insinuate that at some point you'd like to spend the night with her.
Or pancakes are delicious.
Well, pancakes are always delicious. Where were you going to take her? That's what I want to know.
The Putt Shack. It was a little mini golf adult place that has a bar in it too. It's a fun little activity thing. But I don't know if anything's gonna be open. That's why I was like, worst comes to worst, I'll just make you dinner.
Okay.
Since nothing will be open, I'll make her hot cocoa too or something.
You could do Sonic and eat in your car.
In this cold?
Keep the car on, cheapskate.
All right, moving right along.
Okay.
Although what we should do, anybody know of any good restaurants that KGB could take Natasha to tonight?
But that's open. There's a lot that's probably not going to be open.
Yeah, obviously that's open. Because I was. Then I've got to get back to work. But there was one year where I forgot to make highfalutin reservations for. I think it was an anniversary with Amy, and I made mention of it on the air. And I was flooded with restaurant managers offering me a great table.
Oh, that's nice.
Where did we? She's sitting right here.
Wait around.
Where did we go when I had to? That guy called and said, Char, 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 whatever. It was a great restaurant, Char. I don't remember it, but it was really good.
Scar, so that's Mufasa.
So maybe So maybe that's what we need to do for Jeff is let's just try to find a place that's open for he and Natasha. Now, earlier,
okay, you have some things for us.
I was playing audio of Joe Biden where he was talking about California, the fires, and there was a press conference, and he said "fire away" to Kamala Harris because she was, do you know he said that 4 times?
Oh my gosh!
He said it 4 times. Listen to this.
I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. President, and also
press new fire stores. So, Chief, why don't you fire away?
That's number 2.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I hear you.
Fire away.
You hear me, sir? I'm there.
3.
It's all you, pal. Fire away.
4 times.
I can't believe
he did that 4 times.
Oh my goodness!
Can you imagine?
How embarrassing!
Can you imagine after like some sort of a mass shooting if Donald Trump said, "Shoot," talking to somebody? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
yes,
like
I do.
Every day, man. There's another indication that Joe Biden, his mind is just going.
There's only 10 days left, folks.
By the way, what people are also saying? People are also saying that this is Kamala Harris. She's kind of taking a role in this because they believe that she wants to run for governor for the state of California.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So they think this is going to be sort of like her push to become the governor of California. At least that is what people are saying.
I have a terrible joke for that. Sort of a joke. That
okay,
would be like
go ahead.
Hopping from the frying pan into the fire.
You know what? A lot of the policies of, Biden-Harris have impacted California, I would say, in a negative way.
Yeah.
But you know what? Californians, they just love their illegal immigration. This is a part of her little speech yesterday when the president told her to go ahead and fire away. And they say this is part of her speech announcing that she is running for the governorship of California.
sadly, many insurance companies have canceled insurance for a lot of the families who have been affected and will be affected, which is only going to delay or place an added burden on their ability to recover. And I think that is an important point that must be raised, and hopefully there can be some way to address that issue, because these families, so many of them, otherwise will not have the resources to recover in any meaningful way. And many of them have lost everything.
Yeah, so there you go, Kamala Harris. And I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if she ran for the governorship there of California, because Californians are just that stupid. Like that to me, that would be the only real place that she could be elected is a place like California. And I don't mean to kick a state when it's down, but let's all just be honest. I mean, California, they kept Gavin Newsom after the recall. They have elected Gavin Newsom as governor, and the entire state is just full of Democrats. Oh, by the way, did you know there's a big battle going on online about people talking smack about California? Oh, yeah, and it's getting bad. It's all straight ahead. 746, time to check the roads on WTN. As far as your weather goes today, snow all over the Middle Tennessee area and Tennessee by and large. High today of 33, and we do have lots of snow now coming down. The snow dome, the snow globe, or whatever you want to call it. No, the snow dome has turned into a snow globe here at the Mandis house. We do have heavy snow in Mount Juliet and also in Nashville. Jeff, you said that it is snowing heavily there in Nashville?
Indeed, it is. It is indeed. Oh, hold on, I gotta get this ready. It is. Someone's messing with my. It is indeed SNOWMAGEDDON. Oh, you. Okay. Well, truth be told, someone is messing with my computer from a remote location and completely just took the mouse from me.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, what a terrible timing that was.
Your Snowmageddon joke.
Oh, I had it though. Is he done? Okay, hold on. It is indeed Snowmageddon.
Sounds better that way.
All right. So got lots of snow here in Mount Juliet, northern Mount Juliet, where I'm at, and it looks like I'm checking into the super text line again. Snowing in Hermitage, snow coming down hard in the borough, and on it goes. So there you go. So there is a lot. You guys remember we were talking yesterday, just very quickly. We were talking yesterday about how people in California, and I just made mention of it as well, they are the ones that voted all of these Democrats into office. You had Adam Carolla, and he said, people in California, you know what? You reap what you sow. You voted in Gavin Newsom. You voted in Karen Bass. You voted in the L.A. City Council and all of these people that have made these horrible, horrible decisions. I guess online, there's people that are saying that the people in California deserve what's happening to them. Now, I'm not going to go that far. I did say, and people are, it's getting kind of nasty on X. I would never say that anybody deserves what is happening in California. But I do believe, and I said this yesterday, elections do have consequences. And Californians, they elected this party into office. Now, here's my question, though. Joan and KGB, you and I are both from California, so we can have a somewhat informed opinion on this. I haven't been back in years to live, obviously. I've been here for 11 years. But some people are saying this could be the end of the Democrat Party in California. Joan, do you think that the people of California will rise up and say, screw this, we're going to start voting Republican, because we have clearly seen with all of the illegal immigration and everything else, we've seen what Democrats can do to a state, and it ain't good.
I do, and that's because, not just because of this incident, but there have been massive efforts to change the calculus there in California, to change how people are thinking about politics in California. So I think the groundwork was laid before this, and this may just be sort of the icing on the cake.
All right, Jeff, what do you think?
I kind of agree with Joan. It's just it's a long time coming, and this was just the final nail in the coffin, if you will. But again, it would not surprise me if this coffin was of fool's gold, if you know what I mean. This is just a false hope.
Mm.
You know what? We'll have to see what happens in California, but they're talking about how California may never recover. And the reason for that, and we did talk about this more extensively yesterday, but the regulations that will prevent people from being able to rebuild their homes, they're really strict. And so unless there's some sort of a way that they can make it easier for people to rebuild their homes, I think a lot of people, quite frankly, they will more than likely just decide, you know what, we're going to move to Austin, Texas. We're going to move to Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to move to South Carolina. We're going to just say screw it, and we're going to move to other places where, frankly, it's easier to live, because it's not easy to live in California for many different reasons. It is 7:51. Joan, what's coming up in the news at 8?
A little change to our forecast, but you're probably seeing snow falling everywhere right about now. Also, we've got the latest surprise guest at Mar-a-Lago. Just 10 days to go until Inauguration Day. Those stories coming up at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right. Thank you, Joan. Dan Mandis here for the Glock Store. Now, this is my Glock Store and where I train. I love the Glock Store. It is my gun store. Now, I got to go there more often here in 2025. You do as well, because it is a great place to buy your guns, your ammo, your accessories, and it is a fantastic place to train as well. You know, they've got private shooting rooms and personal instructors, not multiple lanes and some stranger shooting next to you. No, they've also got an exciting 2025 New Year, new deal just for listeners to my show. Now, all month long here in January, you could book a shooting session at shoot270.com. You mention my name, you get to shoot a full auto H&K suppressed MP5. This is an amazing experience. All you have to do is mention my name, Dan Mandis. That is a $50 value and an experience you're never going to forget. Again, all you have to do is mention my name. I've gone through the incredible personal training at the Glock store. I'll never go back to a single lane range again. The incredible, incomparable Shoot270.com, only in Nashville and only at my place to train. The Glock store, minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere. Shoot270.com. Hey everybody, Dan Mandis from Nashville's Morning News. The Wall Street Journal reported a while ago that people are feeling stress, anxiety, and depression because of this election. If that's you, talk to my guy, Dr. Christopher Van Shank. He is a psychiatrist out in Nolensville. Now, he can help you with not only depression, if you're feeling it because of politics or whatever, but he can also help you with alcoholism, drug abuse as well. Go to his website, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. He's got a long list of conditions that he can help you with, either in person or at telehealth. Bottom line is, he wants to make it as easy as possible for you to get the help that you need. He can help your kids as well. Check him out online. Again, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. The number's below. Thanks for listening, and good luck. .757, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Heavy snow coming down in northern Mount Juliet. Here where I live, I will accept the challenge of Joan and KGB. And if you follow me on @DanMandisShow, I'll go ahead and post on X video of what's going on at my house. It is pretty heavy, so better late than never. And so it's also incredibly cold. And so Joan is broadcasting live from Manchester. I am here in Mount Juliet, where I live, down in the basement. KGB is at the studio, and it is still snowing heavily in Nashville as well. So there's a lot going on. one of the things, and coming up in the next hour, going to play some audio and talk about the latest on the smelt fish, because there's a big smeltroversy going on there in California because of these smelt fish. Now, if you listened yesterday to the radio broadcast, you know that that smelt fish is the reason why there's not water coming south from northern and central California down into southern California, because they're trying to protect these smelt fish. There's a big controversy now, even a bigger controversy than what we've had before regarding the smelt fish and the fact that they're trying to protect this fish, and that means that Southern California doesn't have any water to fight these fires. And I'm going to get into exactly what's going on coming up here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what I want to know from folks? I want to know from folks because, as you know, today is a day where the kids don't have any school.
Where'd the rest of that recording go?
What's that?
Where'd the rest of that recording go?
Well, I have them on too. You want to hear the whole thing?
Yeah, I love that whole thing.
All right, this is what's going on here across Tennessee.
Snow, let it snow.
There you go.
Do you think the rest of the hosts would like to borrow that? Because
Probably
listen,
not. Yeah.
Are you sure? Because that's some real production quality that I bring to the morning show.
I don't think Matt would be into that at all.
That hurts. That really hurts.
He's probably got his own thing going, you know.
Really? Do you think Matt has a highfalutin, radio production thing to signify what is going on today in Tennessee with all of this snow?
I'm thinking no.
Listen,
Not
he
at
could.
all.
He's real.
Yeah.
I've heard he's pretty decent at production. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe you should suggest it to him.
You know what? I'm gonna throw down the challenge. Matt, top this.
Snow, let it snow.
He hates me right now. He absolutely hates me right now. It's 8:00 on WTN.
Good morning, 8:00 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We are still expecting 4 to 6 inches of snow, but Channel 4's Stefano DiPietro tells us there will also be some mixing in the most southern parts of the area, sleet mixing in. Most of the mixing will be far south of I-40. It may actually approach I-40 briefly later today. But for most of us, he says, this is going to be a snow event, and there could be some heavier snowfall right in the middle of our day. Now, essential workers who absolutely must be at work today have the option of calling on the Jeep crew. Dozens of Jeep owners in Rutherford County and Sumner County have organized to give rides to medical and emergency personnel on snow days out of a love for helping and driving their Jeeps in the snow. You can find them on Facebook. Just or the Jeep crew in your county. Some other news today. A plea deal involving the man accused of plotting the 9/11 terror attacks has been placed on hold by a federal court. The stay ordered by the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals puts a halt to a hearing that was scheduled for today, where alleged 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was to have pleaded guilty in return for the death penalty being removed from his case. That stay is being ordered so the court can have more time to determine whether Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has the authority to reverse the plea agreements that were offered to Mohammed and 2 other 9/11 plotters. 2 military courts had ruled that Austin did not have the authority and that the plea agreements could proceed. President-elect Trump will appear virtually from his Mar-a-Lago estate this morning for sentencing in his criminal hush money case in a New York court. It comes after the Supreme Court refused to delay Mr. Trump's sentencing yesterday. Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett siding with the court's liberal justices to reject Trump's emergency request for a delay. The Supreme Court's message to the once and future president was that this sentencing hearing will do very little to interfere with his preparation to return to power, given the fact that there's virtually nothing at stake because the judge intends to give him no jail time. And Pennsylvania Democrat Senator John Fetterman says he will accept President Trump's invitation for a meeting at Mar-a-Lago. In a statement, the Democratic senator said, quote, "No one is my gatekeeper." Fetterman says he'll have a conversation with anyone if it helps him deliver for Pennsylvania. Now, in addition to accepting the invitation to Mar-a-Lago, Fetterman also recently met with Pete Hegseth, Trump's nominee to be defense secretary. Fetterman broke from the progressive wing of his party last year when he became an outspoken supporter of Israel's war on Hamas. That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather just ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Well, that closure that we had on I-24 westbound in Cheatham County, that's now been reopened. So that's great news this morning if you're traveling westward. We do have heavy snow expected on the major roads today, and you've got a lot of plows now out on the roadway trying to start that process and put some salt down and get those roads cleared out. They're asking for you to give them some space. Traffic every morning, traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.806, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Welcome on into a very snowy January 10th of 2025. Jones at home in Manchester. I'm at home in Mount Juliet.
Good.
Is it snowing really good? All right, I went ahead and I posted on X what's happening outside of my my front door.
I'll have to check yours out. I posted mine too.
Some dude was jogging.
What?
Yeah, some guy in my neighborhood. Some guy is jogging.
I used to love to run in the snow, though. That's kind of cool.
More power to him.
Yeah.
I was just kind of speechless. Like, okay, man. I kind of waved to him, and
as long as he didn't have shorts, he didn't like have shorts on, did he?
No,
okay.
no. And as I said, good for him, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't jog when it's 80, and he's out there and he's whatever. Anyway, so is there anybody on the roads, Joan? You've been doing traffic. Is there anybody out on the roads?
No.
Okay.
They're doing really well at this point, and they have that accident that was out on 24 cleared out now.
Right.
But I just did receive this. Listen to this craziness. 65 southbound at Briley Parkway, Ellington Parkway, at exit 90 right there. There's people walking in the median because their car stalled out. So they're walking in the median. Not a good idea.
Why would they do that? Like in the median? Like in the middle of the...
That's what it said. That's
People
what the
die
screen
by that
says. Yeah.
more often
Yeah.
than you think, too. That's scary. But Dan, I did respond to your snow post. If people want to check out your post, they could see what I responded with.
What did you hold on? What did you respond with? I don't.
It.
Joan, do you see it?
Yeah.
I can get. I'll let you react first.
This
that
is like
not snow.
My
this
snow's
is
bigger
snow.
than your snow.
Yeah. KGB posts response to my snow post. That's not snow. This is snow. KGB 1. Dan nothing. Whatever. Moving right on.
People are actually speaking of drive. People are actually driving on that little road on the back of our studio area. But I have seen those trucks with the snow plows in front of them.
Like private trucks.
Yeah, they're trying to get ahead of this. It looks like from the outside, they're trying
which
to get
is really
ahead.
smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really smart. And let's see the power. I'm looking at. I'm reading some of the comments on the super text line. 5547, of course, kids need to go to school. I walked to school in blizzards years ago. You know what the thing is? I used to live in Colorado when I was, I think, 11 or 12. When I was Riker's age, I lived in Colorado, and it took a lot for them to close schools. I remember, this is going to be one of those barefoot, uphill, both ways stories.
Yeah.
But I remember when I went to school in Colorado, my brother and I would not only walk to school in the snow, but do you know that we had to take public transportation? Like not even a school bus. We literally took a bus. Not a yellow school bus. We were taking the bus with all of the bums and all of the people going to work. Yeah, my brother and I. It was, I think back now, and I want to say to my mom, what the hell were you thinking? But I can't do that because, she's... But anyway, yeah, so that we did. And, it built character. It built a little bit of toughness in yours truly. Although clearly not enough. Anyway.
Want to prove it?
No. Anyway, so looks like Chick-fil-A and Wendy's, they're closed at Providence and Mount Juliet.
Oh.
Snowing in Smithville, so Springfield, Old Hickory, coming down real good now in Old Hickory by the lake. So, yeah, there's clearly now, I think it's all across Middle Tennessee. So there you have it. There you go. Now, the smelt fish controversy, or as I'm saying, the smeltroversy. Donald Trump, everybody knows, if you've been listening to me, you know all about the smelt fish. This is the fish that the Democrats are trying to protect, and that's why they're not sending the water from Northern and Central California down to Southern California because it impacts the smelt fish. And Trump, he's been talking about the smelt fish.
Because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called the smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today. It was a terrible thing.
Do you know, I want to actually go eat a smelt fish just to piss off the Democrats. I don't know if you can do that, if you can go to a place and order a smelt fish just because you want one. But here's the thing. They have not seen a smelt fish in 6 years. So, couple of things. Number one, they're still trying to protect a fish that has long been gone. That's crazy. LA had a couple of good rains in the last couple of years, but because of all of the environmental concerns, they can't effectively move water from Central California to Southern California. They're trying to protect a fish that hasn't been seen in 6 years. This is from the LA Times. The Department of Water Resources also said officials have had to limit pumping from the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta this year because of environmental protections for native fish. The agency has said its ability to move water south through the system of aqueducts and reservoirs has been impacted by the presence of threatened and endangered fish species near the state's pumping facilities in the South Delta. And so the focus has been on this smelt fish, and they did a big story on this, and they're trying to figure out where these fish are.
For the 6th year in a row, no smelt have been found in the San Joaquin Delta. We'll tell you why that's a big deal.
That's a big deal because they've been trying to protect a fish that is literally gone.
This is a really complex issue. Californians are in need of water all over the state. But with a project like the Delta Tunnel, environmentalists say that the 50 species of fish that live in the Delta are at risk, as well as the wildlife and the people who depend on those fish.
All right, so here's the deal. You do have communities, people that are living around these lakes or reservoirs or whatever, and they do fishing and that kind of thing. But when you look at the overall scheme of things, it's really not complicated. The reporter said it's complicated, but it's really not. You've got tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people across the state of California that need access to that state's resources. And I said this in the 5-2. Those three words are really important. That state's resources, California's resources. The rain and the water, and I feel passionately about this because I used to live there and I know exactly what's going on, is those folks up north can't just lay claim to it being, quote unquote, their water. But people literally are saying this is their water.
I understand that they need water, but I mean, so do we. We have farms and agriculture and all the same things. It doesn't make sense why they can take our water.
This is about the livelihoods of all the folks that live around the fish.
The California Department of Water Resources said in a statement to CBS 13, the project has been designed to minimize and avoid potential impacts to native fish, and particularly listed salmonids and delta smelt.
The last thing that we should be doing is building a boondoggle project that doesn't create a single gallon of water for anyone across our state. All it does is move water.
What an idiot Democrat. No, it doesn't create water. If we could create water, then we wouldn't have these issues at all. The water is captured, and then it moves the water to Southern California. But the aqueducts and the reservoirs and this water transferring apparatus is interfering with the mighty smelt. And people are really upset now because they can't find any smelt.
For the 6th year in a row, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife have found no delta smelt, a small endangered fish that's only found in the San Francisco estuary.
I think if it's gone, then it's not endangered. Literally, it's gone. And so that tells you a couple of things. Number one is that they failed at protecting the smelt, and then all of this was for nothing because Southern California doesn't have any water. And so they tried to protect the smelt. They failed, and they haven't found it for 6 years. You would have thought that maybe 4 years ago, when it was 2 years of no smelt, that they would have figured it out. So that's the problem with Southern California. The problem with Southern California is they put the smelt fish over people. That's the smeltroversy in California. The motto of the Democrat Party in California, putting fish over people. It is 8:16. Time to check the roads on WTN. .29 degrees right here in Nashville. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Weather today, a high of 33. Of course, we have snow in Mount Juliet. We have snow in Manchester, Nashville, everywhere across Middle Tennessee. It looks like it's snowing, and it is. It is actually come down pretty good now here in northern Mount Juliet. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We've been talking about an awful lot today. There is some politics going on. Donald Trump is due to be sentenced today. You know what I find interesting? Amy Coney Barrett is part of the Supreme Court, of course, a Trump nominee. And she sided with the liberals on the Supreme Court. Trump was trying to get all of that nonsense blocked. And, of course, he's not going to. This is what I don't understand, and maybe somebody can explain it to me. If what Donald Trump did is so heinous, and I don't believe that what he did is anything literally at all, but the media and the Democrats, they've been just, bat crap crazy, heads exploding over what Donald Trump did. He's a convicted felon, don't you know? He needs to be sentenced. Just, 10 days? Yeah, 10 days before he becomes president of the United States. But they're sure to say that he's not going to receive any jail time. So I guess I'm a little confused. Like, did he do something so horrifically heinous that he should be in jail? Or did he, whatever he did, it must not have been that big of a deal, because they're not going to sentence him to any jail. And trust me when I say, I don't believe he should. I don't believe they should have even brought this case. But you have the Democrats and the media. They keep talking about how he is a convicted felon. He did all of these things. It's so horrendous and heinous and all these other things. But he's not going to get any jail time. Well, which is it? Because if what he did is so terrible, then shouldn't they be pushing for jail time? In other words, with no jail time, it seems to me like what they're doing is they are literally admitting that what Donald Trump did really isn't all that big of a deal. Well, then why exactly is it that they've made such a big deal about this over the last 4 years? Inquiring minds want to know. And so, as usual, I think, at least for me, it is clear that this is yet another indication. And anybody who's not brain dead, like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, anybody who can actually think, has looked at this and realized that what the Democrats did and what these judges have tried to do is lawfare and tried to railroad Donald Trump since the very beginning. And this really didn't start 4 years ago, friends. This actually started 8 years ago when Donald Trump actually announced that he was running for president. It has just been nonstop. And now, of course, he's due to take office in 10 days. He's, again, not going to be sentenced. He is going to be sentenced, but he's not going to do jail time. And we'll have to see exactly what transpires today. I think that Trump, to be perfectly honest, he just wants to move on. We'll see what other legal options he has. It is 8:21 on Nashville's Morning News. Joan Jones has the news coming up at 8:30. Joan, what's coming up?
Well, one of the two girls in that Slender Man case from 2014, remember that one? She's just been released from a mental institution. Also, a report that just came out this morning sent the stock market futures tumbling. We'll tell you why. Those stories at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Dan Mandis here. Sorry. Thank you, Joan. I was turning my microphone down. Thank you, Joan.
Well done, Dan.
You know what? I think my brain is frozen this morning.
We're all a little loopy today.
I think we are, just because we're all. I don't know about you. I'm looking forward to going out playing in the snow. Riker's got his sled already, and this little, I don't know what you call it, but the little round thing that they sit in and you push it down.
A saucer.
Yeah, a snow saucer. Mm-hmm. So we've got that. We're preparing snowball fights. And as, we talked about in the 5 o'clock hour, Amy has her mind and her heart set on going into the hot tub as it's snowing with mimosas and sangrias as well. I've got a very busy day ahead. However,
sounds like a wonderful day, really.
it is absolutely going to be a wonderful day. So just be careful out there, friends. Dan Mandis here. Looking ahead as we move into 2025, of course, what big events do you have planned? Whether it's a big corporate event, maybe a family reunion, maybe a wedding at your home. My friends at Nashville Tent and Awning, they can help you with an incredible enclosure that can be installed anywhere. Now, they've been around since 1884. That's right, Nashville Tent and Awning. They've been around since 1884. They are a Nashville institution, and they've worked with the likes of the Titans, Vanderbilt, and the Grand Ole Opry. Now, they're one of the top companies in Nashville. Think about your backyard. You can actually extend your living space with a backyard enclosure so you can enjoy it even here in the wintertime, even on a day like today when the snow is coming down. Now, if you have an event for work coming up, they can help you there as well with a tent or an enclosure. And they've got awnings for any style of building that'll improve the look and the feel of your home or office. The opportunities are limitless with my friends at Nashville Tent and Awning. Get some visuals and check it out at their website, ntaco.com, ntaco.com. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out, 615-329-3701, 615-329-3701. As always, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. Solid craftsmanship and built to last since 1884. Nashville Tent and Awning. 828, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you being here, along with Joan Jones and KGB, Jeff Malinoff. And it is raining, I should say snowing, all across Middle Tennessee. There's been a lot of news that we've been talking about today. One of the things that is one of my absolutely favorite stories, I actually haven't been able to get to it too much because of all of the snow talk and, of course, what's going on in California, and also Donald Trump acting, quite frankly, very presidential, is the fact that Ron DeSantis, and I'm going to play this audio coming up during the cross with Chris Hand, where DeSantis absolutely eviscerates a reporter because the reporter is accusing Donald Trump of going after Gavin Newsom and how it's very divisive. Wait till you hear what Ron DeSantis had to say. That story and a whole lot more straight ahead. It is Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 8:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. With the snow now covering the mid-state, Channel 4's Stefano DiPietro tells us that the next phase of this snowstorm is an increase in intensity, dropping lots of snow very quickly. He also tells us there's a chance that later today there'll be some sleet mixing in with our snow in the most southern parts of the mid-state, and that may affect snow totals there. A Wisconsin woman who at age 12 stabbed her sixth grade classmate nearly to death to please online horror character Slender Man is being released from a psychiatric hospital, according to a judge's order. The judge said that Morgan Geyser, who has spent just 6 years of her 40-year sentence in the hospital, he found that she has been faithful to taking her medication, and he deemed her no longer a threat to the public. Geyser is now 22 years old. U.S. hiring saw robust growth in December with new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showing employers adding 256,000 workers last month, far more than economists were expecting. The unemployment rate, that ticked down to 4.1%, and that's good news for the jobs market, but bad news for stocks. Economists believe that this report will put the brakes on any more interest rate cuts. Stock futures spiraled this morning at that report, and stocks are just beginning to trade now on Wall Street after the opening bell. And we've got the Dow Jones Industrials down 251 points. S&P 500 is down 43. The NASDAQ is losing 182 points right now. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are coming up. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. Dan Mandis here. Where can you kick off the new year with big savings on gig speed? Only with my friends at Xfinity. Now through January 16th, get gig speed internet at home for just $25 a month for 1 year when you add an unlimited mobile line, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. You act fast today, you can save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon in your first year. Plus, hurry and take advantage because right now, you can also get a free 5G phone with trade-in. So save big and stay connected to what you love with fast gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about gig speeds and big savings. So don't wait and get gig speed internet. Spend less green and switch to Xfinity. Find them online. Go to Xfinity.com/gig savings to learn more. And as always, tell them Dan told you to reach out. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes and fees extra. Internet discount applied to mobile bill. $40 internet discount applied to mobile bill. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon Fiber Gig Plus One Unlimited Welcome Line and AT&T Fiber Gig Plus One Unlimited Starter Line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabytes of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary. Hey everybody, Dan Mandis from Nashville's Morning News. The Wall Street Journal reported a while ago that people are feeling stress, anxiety, and depression because of this election. If that's you, talk to my guy, Dr. Christopher Van Schenk. He is a psychiatrist out in Nolensville. Now, he can help you with not only depression, if you're feeling it because of politics or whatever, but he can also help you with alcoholism, drug abuse as well. Go to his website, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. He's got a long list of conditions that he can help you with, either in person or at telehealth. Bottom line is, he wants to make it as easy as possible for you to get the help that you need. He can help your kids as well. Check him out online. Again, nolensvillepsychiatry.com. The number's below. Thanks for listening, and good luck.
Well, it looks like we have a couple of accidents now. This is in Belmont on 440, the westbound lanes past Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. That's exit 3. A crash is blocking off the right shoulder. Then in Madison, 65 northbound, the on-ramp from Briley Parkway. There's a crash and the on-ramp median is blocked there. And then westbound lanes of 24 in Murfreesboro, right at Medical Center Parkway. You've got a crash and 2 left lanes are blocked off there. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.837 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here along with Joan Jones and KGB. So apparently I have it on really good authority.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that challenge that I threw down for Chris Hand?
Yeah.
Where I wanted to see, I threw down the challenge to Chris. Could he top my fancy radio production for this very snowy Friday?
Snow, let it snow.
And so I said, I on the air, I challenged Chris. I said, can you come up with something as equally creative and well produced as my snow bit for today? And so from what I understand, he cannot join us today because he's working on his own version of what I did.
Snow, let it snow.
So I guess he's in a state of, from what
we
I
know
understand,
the real reason. He's shaking in his boots.
He is.
In his snow boots.
In his snow boots. He's like, oh, God, I got to Mandis issue the challenge. And now he's got to rise up to the challenge. You think he'll be able to do it? Because that's why he's not here. He's trying to, come up with some sort of a fancy, really creative bit. You think he can do it?
You know what? He is a creative guy. I got to give him credit. He is
a very creative guy.
He's got some cogwheels in his head that are spinning, I bet. But it's going to be tough because School's Out is a great song.
Listen, if Chris or Chad or Matt would like to borrow my incredibly creative and well-produced bit for their shows, then they can use it themselves if they'd like. You think they'll want to take me up on that offer?
So you're laying out the challenge not to Chris, but everyone.
If they can't come up with their own creative, as we like to say in the industry, then they can borrow mine. Because you know what? Doggone it, I am a team player.
Oh, what a stand-up guy.
I am a stand-up guy, even though I'm always sitting down.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Wait, is that what you were thinking, Joan?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, did you hear what Ron DeSantis had to say to, by the way, so here's the deal. You got to listen to Chris at 9:06 when he comes on to see if he can match my fire.
Match your fire. I want that in a quote. Dan Mandis, match my fire.
Snow, let it snow.
Even Amy liked that. She actually did. She admitted she heard me producing it at like 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock this morning. Because she was up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
She's excited by the snow too, huh?
And I said, honey, listen to this. And she literally turned around and said, I'm going back to bed.
She says that a lot too. Are you sure that's not her just saying I love you?
I'm pretty sure that's not what it means. Anyway, moving right along. So Ron DeSantis, I love this. This is one of my favorite audio bites of the day. Everybody knows that the media constantly goes out of their way going after Donald Trump. Trump has been going after Gavin Newsom because Newsom clearly, as has been well documented by everybody, really screwed up the fire preparation. So now the media is asking Trump and asking actually Ron DeSantis, is Trump doing the right thing by going after Gavin Newsom, or is he just being Trump-like and divisive?
Elect or a president to be criticizing.
Is it appropriate for people in your industry to try to create division and to try to create narratives anytime these things happen? Now, you're not as interested in doing that because Newsom is a D. If Newsom was a Republican, you guys would you would have him nailed to the wall for what they're doing over there. And I know we've dealt with it. We just assume in Florida, anytime something happens, it's going to be politicized by the media. So you guys sitting in judgment of Donald Trump, I mean, excuse me, I think your track record of politicizing these things is very, very bad.
Okay, last question. Newsom should resign and that the wildfires are all his fault. So do you agree with those comments?
I remember when we had the Surfside Tower collapse, I had people from the Washington Post trying to blame me for it immediately without having any facts or anything. Oh, he didn't declare a state of emergency. First of all, state of emergency doesn't mean you can't respond. It's all that. Excuse me?
Biden did it. I think that's what she's saying.
Well, but what I'm telling you is you guys are trying to make an issue of it when I have watched from this seat. In fact, when I got elected governor, I was meeting with some of the other Republican governors, and what they would say is, hey, if you have a natural disaster, just know media's coming at you, they're going to do it. It's not the same. That mayor of L.A., if that were a Republican mayor, I could only imagine what that would do. I mean, you know the fires are at high risk, and you try to go to Africa or wherever she was to go on some type of voyage. You should have been there preparing and doing that, and yet I don't see a lot of heat being directed in that thing. And so, I'd like to see some balance on how this is done. You could criticize the president-elect, but I think you also have to hold these other people accountable, and I have not seen that.
He's absolutely right on so many different fronts. Number one, you do have the media, and they do, and Joan, you and I have talked about this many times, the media has extra fire when it is a Republican that is being criticized, and they'll go after for days and days, and it just never ends.
Oh, yeah.
But the media just seems rather muted when it comes to Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass.
It's kid glove treatment. It's amazing to me.
It is kid glove treatment, and I did like when DeSantis said
Newsom is a D.
That Gavin Newsom is a
Newsom is a D.
He meant Democrat.
We
I'm sure.
We have not confirmed or denied what the D stands for.
Newsom is a D.
I don't know. He didn't say the word Democrat. He literally said
Newsom is a D.
And I'm curious what he meant, because you know what? Here's the deal. There's a lot of people in California who right now agree with Ron DeSantis.
Newsom is a D.
I'm just saying.
You got to keep that audio like forever now.
Should I?
Once Newsom's gone, like once his term ends, you have to play that as like a send off. Oh. So long, Newsom.
That and a middle finger hoisted.
Newsom is a D.
So there you go. By the way, Gavin Newsom, we did talk about this earlier, but people have asked me to replay the audio where he lied to one of his constituents, I guess, a Californian. She comes running up to Gavin Newsom. Joan, do you think this is real? I want you to, when I play this for you, I want to know if you believe this is actually real, okay?
Okay.
Because this sounds almost a little over the top, but a woman comes running up to Gavin Newsom.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
And so she asks the governor if she can hear the conversation. Because remember, Gavin Newsom said he was literally talking to the president. She asks if she can hear the conversation, and Gavin Newsom is like,
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the
Why
call.
is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now.
So part of the news cycle, of course, is that Gavin Newsom was caught lying because he said
I'm literally talking to the president right now.
But he wasn't talking to the president. She's trying to look at his phone, by the way. She's trying to look at his phone, and that's when he had to fess up and say, well, I've tried 5 times. I can't seem to get a hold of him. So, yeah.
So I'm walking around trying to get cell service. Come on.
I don't buy it either.
You're not buying it?
I don't buy. Well, here's the thing. We know that he is a liar, and I proved that earlier when he was lying to the people of California. He said he had cleared like 90,000 acres of brush or something like that, and he had only done like 11,000. We know that he's a liar. But then the woman goes on, and she... It almost, to me, sounds so passionate that it almost sounds like she's trolling.
Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself. But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
And so off they go, and they give her, no doubt, the card of a lower level aide who probably left the administration like a month ago. So
it's just odd, the questions that she's asking and saying, I would fill up the hydrants myself. I mean, that's a silly way to put it.
To me, it sounds like she's, I don't know, an activist or something, but it just,
yes,
she sounds like this is not real.
Right.
I mean, he lied. He definitely lied, and he definitely dropped the ball on this. But she just, what's the word I'm looking for? She just sounds too dramatic.
It looks staged, and B, notice that there's somebody with a camera right behind her. I mean, that's the reason you have this whole interaction on tape. There's somebody with a camera behind her, or at least a cell phone. right?
Yep,
So there's something about this that doesn't feel organic, but I like it anyway.
Well, I like it too because it proves that he was, it number one, clearly proved that he was lying. And number two, it just further reinforces the point that after how many years that he's been in office there in California, that he has made mistakes time and time and time again. All right, Joan, it is our job to encourage KGB to bring content to the radio program. He has done so, and so to positively reinforce him bringing content, I want to go ahead and say, hey, KGB, you've got something for this segment too.
I do, yes. So last night, before I went to bed, I watched the Orange Bowl, which is a classic college game between Penn State and Notre Dame. But, ESPN didn't really talk much about the players. They talked about the coaches being black, unfortunately. So, they brought because the winner would go into the national title game, and they'd be the first black coach ever to coach a national championship game. So they made that a big deal instead of, the players or anything or their accomplishments just as coaches. So he won the game. Notre Dame won this game. Head coach Marcus Freeman goes up there, happy, proud. Notre Dame's a classic Catholic school, so he's like praising Jesus and that. It was a great moment. But then the woman asked him this.
Because you are the first black head coach to go to a national championship game in college football.
I think the first question she asked.
Just hearing that response alone, how much does this mean to you?
I've said this before. I don't ever want to take attention away from the team. It is an honor, and I hope all coaches, minorities, black, Asian, white, it doesn't matter. Great people continue to get opportunities to lead young men like this.
There you go.
But this ain't about me. This is about us. And we're going to celebrate what we've done because it's something special.
And that made me an instant fan of this guy.
Absolutely. And that's the right answer.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good for him.
He turned it around and goes, it does not matter. It's about great people being around these great kids, because these are kids, and building them into hopefully a good future for everyone. So it was a perfect answer, perfect everything. So go Notre Dame in the national championship.
And the thing is that college football coaches, they are much more than just coaches, just like high school coaches. They're working to build men out of these either young men or, in the case of high school coaches, working to build those boys into men. So I love what he said.
And working on their character, and that's the most important thing, their character.
Absolutely.
And they learn that on the field and with their boss, with their coach, helping them along the way. Good for him.
You guys want to hear some positive reinforcement from the audience?
Okay.
Guy says, Dan, you are in Music City and you're bragging about your little production.
Snow, let it snow.
He says the kid screaming is awful. The whole thing is terrible. It's incredibly jarring and annoying. Just for the record, I've been described as jarring and annoying as well.
Wait, I have a question, Dan. Is your son or stepson still asleep right now, do you think?
Probably.
If there's enough snow out there, I posted this on X as well. If you're a parent with a kid that's asleep, you must throw a snowball at him to wake him up. It's the right thing to do.
Oh, wow.
I
Talk
recommend
about getting character in a child.
Yeah, because it's outside. We got to have fun. How often do you get snow? Throw a snowball at a kid. Not hard. Just right in the chest.
Or you know what you could do? You could just get a big thing of snow and just sprinkle it on his face. You can do that as well. Instead of like throwing a snowball at a sleeping child, you might want to tell Natasha about these weird thoughts of yours.
That's not weird. That's funny. I'm sorry. It's a snowball. I'm not saying throw an axe at the kid.
There's nothing funny about child abuse.
Oh, my God. I didn't know your middle name was Karen.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. By the way, to the people that don't believe that my little snow thing is good, that's the whole point. The whole point is that it's terrible. The whole point is I think it's great, but it's really not. And the whole point is that everybody else thinks that it's terrible.
Dan, if you have to explain your joke, it's not really a joke.
Right.
That's exactly right. And you know what I've actually heard is that everybody loves my little snow thing, including Chris Hand, who he is right now at home eagerly, little fingers editing and doing all the things that Chris does to try to top my little snow bit for this snow day, January 10th of 2025. Chris Hand is coming up next. Dan Mandis here for Zero Res. My friends at Zero Res, we all know that January can be a big time to clean, to purge, and to become healthier. Now, Zero Res can help you do that just by being Zero Res. And with this great offer that they have for you right now, a healthier way to clean your home. Now, using Zero Res means that they use cleaning agents that leave your carpet cleaner and healthier than those other carpet cleaning companies. Now, you know that when they clean with Zero Res, with their ZR water technology, they leave no soap, no residue, and no harsh chemicals. Zero Res is going to clean and sanitize your surfaces without the use of detergents or harsh chemicals, which does mean that, yes, your carpet stays clean longer, unlike those other carpet cleaning companies. Now, I've been using Zero Res myself for years now. They are number one in my house. The Carpet and Rug Institute also say that Zero Res is the number one carpet cleaning system in the nation. Independent testing labs also say the same thing. Now, right now, they've got a great deal going on. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned for just $99, and celebrate the new year with 25% off of upholstery cleaning. Got to mention my name. Be healthy and stay healthy in 2025 with Zero Res. Restrictions may apply. Call them 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376. Book online, ZeroResNashville.com.